Is Trisha Kondo, the Indigenous Psychic Medium and Spiritual Teacher. I'm coming on here for a few minutes and then I gotta head out. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm sure you do. Um, just seeing if everything is working out here. Okay. So, hi there, Maureen on Instagram. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram. Um, like me on Instagram, follow my Indigenous Psychic Trisha Kondo business page. I'm trying to think. And follow me on TikTok. So I really want to talk about this. Good morning, Willie Poog. Um, like my page, you know, all that great stuff. Okay, so I really want to talk about this really like short and sweet. Okay. So I remember when I read for a therapist, and she couldn't believe what I just what I said to her. Um, it was in 2003, I believe. That's quite a while. 2003. And I remember because I thought I was hallucinating. I thought I was, essentially going a little nutty, but I wasn't. 'Cause I was connecting with Grey Wolf and I was, you know, getting back to my oracle cards and all that stuff, and, I was reading for people, but I was also hearing spirits and seeing them, and I was wondering what was going on. So, I finally went to see a therapist on campus. I never thought I would go see one, but I did, and I remember asking for an emergency session. I did, because I was constantly hearing, spirits talking to me, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I didn't understand it logically. I really didn't. So, long story short, I finally got an emergency session with a therapist on campus, and we sat down. I think it lasted about 30, 40 minutes. Anyways, I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't know what to expect. So I sat down and I was telling her what was going on. I was seeing, visions again, and I was hearing spirits, and I was hearing Grey Wolf, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I really don't know what to do with this. And by the way, I'm psychic, and I'm a medium, and I'm a healer, and yeah, can you let me know what's going on with me? Um, and she's like, well, people who are not well don't usually ask that. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? She's like, well, can you tell me what's been going on? So I've been telling her. I told her what was going on with me. I was seeing, things that would happen. But at that time I was returning back to my gifts. And I was just like, well, this is happening and this is happening. I'm seeing like people around others, loved ones. Let me know where you're tuning in from so I can say hi to you. I know some of you are watching, and I don't see anybody in the chat. So, with that being said, I asked her. No, no, no. She asked me a question. She goes, okay, let's test this out. I'm like, okay, let's test it out then. So she started asking me questions. Yeah, she started asking me questions you would ask a seer. And so she would ask me, what do you see in my family life? What do you see with my job? What do you see with all these things? And so I started to answer her. Has this ever happened to you where you're like, what's going on with me? You know, has that ever happened to you where you're like, what is going on? Or you're far along it where you're like, I'm doing all these readings and I've evolved. At that time, I didn't know I was evolving. I was, you know, my readings were starting to shape more into what they are today. And I was reading with Grey Wolf and my guides and the ancestors and all that. So I was into it, like reading people for about, oh, geez, 15 years, if not more, something like that. Anyways, 10 years, 15. Anyways, so I didn't realize my readings were evolving. That's what was going on. And I was questioning. Hey, good morning. I was questioning everything. Logically, I was questioning everything. That was going on. And so I went to see somebody who was very intellectual. And I was looking for an intellectual answer. And I realized later on that'll just drive you nuts. That'll just drive you going in circles. But, anyways, so I finally read her and I said, well, you're looks like you're going through a divorce or, there's a relationship ending. And she was pretty quiet for a while. I'm like, okay. And I wasn't asking her a series of questions. I wasn't doing that. It was just, this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm seeing. And this is what I'm hearing. And this is what I'm feeling. And so she was pretty quiet and she was like, uh-huh, yeah, okay. That's pretty much what was going on. She was just, yeah, and me thinking I'm way off. I'm like way off. I'm like, this is not landing, and I'm like, maybe there's something else going on with me. Anyways, so she just sits back. She just sits back, and she says, "That's very interesting." She says, and I think Facebook was just coming around, and I didn't have Facebook at the time. I know it was just coming out, and I'm like, "Mm, yeah, hi, Novik." I don't think Facebook was out yet. So she's like, "Did you Google me?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't even know you till today." So she would ask me all these logical questions. Did you do this? Did you do that? And I'm like, "No, I just met you today." Um, and she's like, "Yeah, you don't know my personal details. Nobody does." I'm like, "Yeah." And she sits back more and she's like, "That's pretty spot on." And she says, "I don't think there's anything going on with you psychologically." She says, "I think you're very talented psychically." And I was like, "Okay." And she just sat back again. She goes, and then she started crying. And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm making this woman cry." So I'm like, I'm making this woman cry. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Uh, are you okay? Hi, Heather. Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I've been thinking about leaving my husband. We're on the verge of divorce and it's being finalized next month." She said, "You're pretty spot on with that." And she said, "I am," and I told her about getting a new job. I said, "You're moving." She said, "I am." And she was wondering, I was wondering about that. And she said, "They made me an offer." She goes, "I think I'm going to take it." I said, "Yeah, I see you moving away and going to Montreal and stuff like that." And she's like, "Hmm." She goes, "Can I see you outside of the can I book a reading?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She says, "I don't think," she goes, "I think you're just very in tune." And she says, "I think you should really keep going with this." I'm like, "Okay." And so I really didn't need that validation, but I think I was looking for it intellectually. So I was saying, "Okay, I guess this is the way to go." Anyways, suffice it to say, after that, my readings, I was being booked left, right, and center. and I was helping a lot of people. So why am I talking about this? So I'm talking about this because I do have a group event that's coming up, and I've kind of slowed down, or I've completely shut down my readings for now. For now, um, but if you are interested in booking a group reading event, so there's a book reading. It's called Grey Wolf and Mediumship Reading Event. It is happening this Sunday. So it's only $27. It's for 1 hour. So I do have enough time to talk to people. I'm not doing one-on-ones right now. So if you're looking for a one-on-one, I suggest you come on to this group reading event and have your question answered. So it could be about relationships, business, spiritual, like meaning, do you want to know how many guides you have? What is your guide saying? Loved ones, meaning ancestors. Do you want to, hear from your grandpa, your grandma, you want to know how many angels are around you, what messages they have for you. What is the healing that you're waiting for? What do you need to heal? Okay. So that is pretty much what I'm offering. So Instagram, it is in the link in my bio. If you want to sign up, I think I have about 5 or 6 people signed up so far. I haven't been heavily promoting it, but here I am today doing that. So if you are interested, I suggest you sign up because I don't know when I'm going to be doing this again. So it is in a group event. It's this Sunday. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will get a replay if you cannot make it. That's fine. But if you want your question answered, you have to show up live. Okay? You have to show up live. So it's all about looking. So Grey Wolf is also going to be reading you. Okay? And it's also about mediumship. That means spirits are going to talk to me, and I'm going to relay the message. So if you're waiting for a message from your loved one, your ancestor, your guides, I can definitely relay that message. So with that being said, I'm going to put the link here. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And it is this Sunday. I know it's on Mother's Day. This Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is for 1 hour. I put it for 1 hour. It might go an hour and a half. Okay. And I don't know when I'm going to be doing this again. Okay. It is only $27. That's pretty affordable. So with that being said, I'm going to go. Hello, Lynn. So yeah, I remember when I read that therapist and she couldn't believe what I said. what I said. And she was like, oh my God. And then at the end, she's like, oh my God. She was crying a little bit. She goes, this is so unprofessional of me. I can't believe I'm crying. And I'm like, no worries. Don't worry about it. So anyways, I'm going to go. But if you're interested, there is the link in the comments, in the chat. Okay. You just need to sign up. You will get a replay. If you cannot make it, I suggest you make it. It is on a Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the information will come in an email. Okay. All right, everyone. I got to go, but I wish you all a great day. Avna Moltes.